back live here on our big broadcast. We are coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today. Also 50 plus AM FM stations across the country and around the world. KFRK in Denver as well. And we have a fabulous, fabulous guest joining us today. I'll tell you, I can't say enough good things about DC, the brain supreme of tag team. Of course, you know them from the new Geico commercial, Whoop, there it is, Scoop, there it is. And I bring in the man, the myth, the legend, DC. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well today. A little tired, but I'm all right.
Well, you are dressed for you are dressed for business, and that's what we're talking about today here on our big program. So DC, one of the things that I hear you talk about in some of your interviews, and I've seen your press material and everything. By the way, if you want to get more information, it's tagteambackagain.com. And one of the things that you talk about is SEO and some of the different things that you have done to go out and get noticed. And this was one of the things that was used to land this Geico commercial. Talk to us about learning SEO and becoming basically an expert in this.
I mean, I couldn't be found, right? And wait a minute, we got an echo here somewhere. I couldn't be found, right?
Yeah.
And it was 2011, and I'm DJing in the club, and I get a call, DC, somebody wants to talk to you at the front door. And I'm like, tell them to take a message. And I'm like, I'm DJing, right? And, you know, like, they're not getting off the phone, man. So I go to the front, and the lady's like, I got to talk to you. I was like, call me in the morning, please. The record's about to go off. And I go back to the DJ booth, and the next morning on a Sunday, I call this lady that's from the New York Times. And she tells me, have you heard about the Gawker article? And I'm like, Gawker article? Yeah, they wrote an article saying Barack Obama was in your music video. And I'm like, okay, right? And I'm like, okay, I'll play along. And I was like, how did you even find me, right? And she was like, it was very, very hard, my friend. And, you know, that whole week we did a lot of press. We did CNN, we were stuck in the studio doing live remotes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like I am now doing all these interviews and podcasts and whatnot, but it's more enjoyable now. And I realized that I could have been making a lot of money. That was an opportunity I was not prepared for, right? And I vowed that would never happen again. And, you know, I started my SEO journey, and I started learning how to build websites. And then I said, let me do it while I'm at the club. Right. So while I'm at the club, I'm learning SEO. It's very difficult. It's very hard. It's brutal. It's excruciating.
Yes.
It takes me 10 years. Right. It really took me that long. Like,
yes.
I in increments, right? Because Google is a moving target, right?
Yes.
And that moving target is difficult to catch. And human nature is that you're greedy and you want all the keywords. You want it so bad, right?
Well,
so
yes.
That's the hard part. But I really was methodical. I asked people for help. I took a lot of courses, and I didn't give up. And about 2016, I built the club I was at. I built their website.
Okay.
And SEO did a little bit, and got the social media going. And this was like in the beginning, kind of social media, where it really just jumped off with Instagram, and every platform was kind of, this is post MySpace, where every platform is finding its way.
Yes.
And I learned how to use all of them effectively, but not as much as effective as I wanted to. Then I retired from DJing in 2015, and I finally built the tag team site. And 10 years ago, if you type in tag team, it was all wrestling.
Yes. Yes. And this is all tag. This is the thing. We have got a great guest with us today. DC, the brain supreme of tag team. Whoop, there it is. Of course, the #1 commercial in the country with Geico. Scoop, there it is. Also joining us is, ironically, my digital marketing guy, Seth Stevens, joins us here on Skype as well. He is somewhere
What's up,
that he cannot do video, so he is just joining us on audio today. But Seth, you came in here a little late. He was explaining to us how he had to go learn SEO, PR, marketing, and social media. This whole journey, DC, is amazing. Tell us a little bit about learning social media and how you guys ended up with this Geico commercial.
Well, the Geico, after we built the site,
Yes.
It wasn't enough to just build the site, right?
Yes.
There are things that connect to the site. So you have what's called the Google Knowledge Graph. That's the big picture on the right side. If they type in my name, you'll see my picture with all the squares, or you'll see a business with all the squares. So you have different levels of SEO. You have local marketing where you're trying to get in the 3-pack. It used to be, I think, it was like a pack, right?
Yeah.
But now it's 3-pack, and they're just different facets of it, and you have to do content writing. There's so many things that have to align. And one thing I had to do was redo all the Wikipedia pages because it was like 1998, material. It was like articles that people had, and I had to learn how to use Wikipedia. And you can't just jump on Wikipedia and just use it like that, because all the misinformation started around 2014, 2015. So people were going on other people's Wikipedias and changing the information. So they got real tight on it, because you used to go in and just change your own stuff on Wikipedia. But now they have people monitoring it. If they see something that's a little bit off of their rules, just like Google, you get hit with the penalty, they pull it off. Right. So I went and redid all the Wikipedia pages, and now everything is set, and the pandemic hits. And I just, I reinvented myself. And that was one of the best years. That probably 2020 is the best year of my life, because I reinvented myself with voiceover, started booking for voiceover more. Before the pandemic, I booked my first television national commercial with Pizza Hut, but it got canceled because it was supposed to be for March Madness, and it got canceled. And then, yes, I shot my first movie in April. I shot my second movie in July, and I booked a Tyler Perry gig early in the fall, and then here comes Geico. And my agent calls me and says, "Hey, you booked Geico. Geico wants to book." And I'm like, "You're playing with me. Don't play with me. I didn't audition for that." And I'm like, "How's that even possible?" She's like, "Well, you booked for Geico." Geico called, said they want to book tag team. I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "Okay." They went back. I went back and checked my phone, the tag team phone. There was a message from Geico. Geico had called the tag team phone. I didn't answer, but they went to my IMDb, because I'm an actor, and they found my agent. Called my agent. My agent calls me.
All right.
2012, I couldn't be found. 2020, I was found.
Woo!
Right? And it is to date the most lucrative deal I've ever made in my life.
Wow.
And it really set forth just an onslaught of tenaciousness and just innovation, that I just went into overdrive, because I knew having a Geico commercial, it wasn't going to be like everybody else having a Geico commercial, because when Salt and Pepper had theirs in 2014, they went and toured until the pandemic, right? We're in a pandemic. That's not happening for us.
Yeah.
So I was like, I will be damned if I'm going to sit back and just be happy I got a Geico commercial. And I'm going to take these lemons, and I'm going to make me a lemonade corporation. I'm going to franchise it, and I'm going to sell it for $1 billion. That's my mindset. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to blow up acting, and I'm going to blow up voiceover, because voiceover I can do in my own home, which is safe. And then acting, we got so many protocols that's safe. And just concentrate on that and blow DC up. And let's get a publicist, right? So I try to get a publicist. I have meetings with all these publicists, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what to do, and usually we do a round robin junket in New York or LA, and this is different. This is movie. We usually do a movie." And I'm like, thank you. And whenever I get stuck on something, I always go join an organization. And organizations always filled with seasoned veterans, masters of their craft, and just professionals of a certain profession that have been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yep.
Right? When you join an organization, you find all your answers because those are the people who are doing it. Those are the people who are innovating. They get together and talk about their profession. So I joined the Public Relations Society of America, PSRA. Then I'm in the Georgia chapter, and I jump on a Skype meeting, not a Skype meeting, but a Zoom meeting 2 days after I sign up. And it's this big CEO from this PR firm, and everybody's asking questions and just trying to get whatever, get all the knowledge they can. Those type of Zooms. And I raised my hand, and I've already done my due diligence. I had press releases ready. I had all kind of stuff, all kind of SEO ready. Everything's ready. But I like to get stuff validated too. I like to see what other professionals say about what I'm doing, and if my hustle is valid, or if my hustle is so innovative enough that it blows them away, right? And I raised my hand. I said, "A press release is relevant." And they're like, "What's it for?" I was like, "Well, I'm kind of featured in a national Geico commercial called Scoop." There it is. And I'm looking at the chat, and it's like, wait a minute, that can't be him. What? I love that commercial. Oh my God, it is him. I love that commercial too. My kids love that commercial. And then it was just like the whole Zoom exploded. Moderator's eyes getting big, like, what the heck is going on? And she realized, she's like, oh my gosh, we'd like to welcome DC to the chapter. We're going to talk about that Geico commercial afterward, DC. But back to his question, our press release is relevant. And the guest says yes, because the whole last year has been doom and gloom. It's been COVID. Everything written about COVID, every TV show's COVID. Everybody's fighting with each other. And then here you come with something that makes everybody smile, brings joy to the world. But I knew that. I knew what I had, because this is like the Wednesday before the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
And I went and dropped that press release that day. And when she said, not only is it a good thing to do right now in history, but you need to go here for all the podcasts. You need to go here for get in front of all the journalists. You need to go here to get in front of all the TV shows. You need to make sure your pitches are like this. You need to make sure your such and such is like this. Make sure you email this. Boom, 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 boom. She gave me the entire breadth of her experience in 10 minutes. She gave me the cliff notes in 10 minutes. And I have not looked back. And it has opened my world to things and possibilities I could have never imagined. And it is the reason that you and I are here talking right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I dropped that press release on a Wednesday. Thursday, I get a call from my agent. Dan Patrick Show wants you tomorrow morning. I'm like, man, can we do it Mondays? Like, nope, you got to do it tomorrow morning. All right.
Nope.
They weren't having that. They were like, we want you before the Super Bowl. We want to kick the whole Super Bowl off on you. And that was like one of their biggest shows of the year. Now I'm on a nationally syndicated television show on Fox, talking to Dan Patrick about strip clubs, and Scoop, there it is, with Geico listening. I'm like trying to steer him away from it. He just wanted to talk about strip clubs. That's all he wanted to talk about. Couldn't believe it. And Geico was like, we were so impressed how you were steering him away and just leading him to other things.
Yes.
And then at that point, I'm different, because most artists, when they do a Geico commercial or anything, they got their agent, their manager. These are the buffers: the agent, manager, publicist,
the gatekeepers,
and then their agent or their representative. I was like, let me call the person who called me and find out the hierarchy of the Martinez. Let me find the hierarchy of Geico. And I know everybody in the company, and I talk to them frequently, and we're all on the same page, and I throw them ideas, and we keep this thing going, because I'm a hustler, right? I know what I got, and that's how I took the approach of Whoomp. There it is. We signed a terrible record deal, but I could have cried over spilt milk, but I didn't. I said the responsibility to make this money is on me, because I'm the one that signed that contract. So you better hustle your butt off so you can get your money. And then, like, in the middle of the 2000s, I'm sitting in a movie theater, and that's when I realized that Whoomp, there it is going to be evergreen, because I'm sitting in the movie theater looking at Will Ferrell dance on a table in the mailroom to Elf, and I'm like, it's a Christmas movie. This is going to be played every year forever.
Mhm.
This is going to last forever. So it's up to me to make the money. Now I have opportunity to make money always, right? And even now, like Dan Patrick, 2 weeks later, ABC Daytime with Tamron Hall. That was beautiful. And they're so professional, they make the narratives for you. So they do everything. You don't even have to say anything. They tell everything about you because I went back and I redid everything. The information and the research that they pulled now is accurate. So
Right.
they're imposing my will upon everybody, right? That's the importance of making sure that anything on the internet you do is accurate. Even the old articles. And this is how I stumbled upon that. See, you got to learn how to learn, right? So I'm like, okay, ooh, there's an article already because they dropped the Geico commercial on the 25th, that night at midnight, and of December, Christmas. And 2 days there was 3 articles out there. I go, scoop, there it is, tag team news, 3 articles. I go to those articles, there are no links. So I said, ooh, this is my opportunity. Send a nice little letter saying, could you please give me a do follow link with an anchor text, only tag team, nothing else. If you do anchor text, if you don't do anchor text, just do your regular naked URL. I said, wait a minute. If it was that easy to do that, let me go back over all of these articles over the last 28 years and start reaching out to people since I'm hot now. And then I did that. And then I only did that. I got do follow links from the old articles and secured a new article. So all the journalists that were kids back then are now editors now.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not even thinking about like the lifestyle magazines and the, all the magazines that don't mean, I'm not gonna say they don't mean nothing. They have their value, but they're the star magazines. I don't want that. I want the trades. See, the trades are where the $1 billion CEOs are looking every week. They rarely have time to look at anything, so they're only looking at a few periodicals, and those are trade magazines to see what's going on in their industry. So I knocked out Ad Week. I had 2 Ad Week articles in the beginning, right? Then it got good to me, and the only reason I had these articles already ready because when you edit Wikipedia, anything you say has to have a reference,
Yes.
right? And I went throughout the history of tag team and I've got 50 pages of just everything that's ever been written about us as references. And now I went back and just started reaching out to all those journalists. And now I got do follow links all over the place. And then when I dropped that press release, I did it so well that in 6 hours, 300 entities picked it up. That's 300 do follow links right back to Tag Team Back Again.
Wow.
Now Tag Team Back Again is a nuclear power station.
Yeah.
Anything I want to do. If I want to do a DC Glenn, a voiceover, actor, anything. If I want to do something further, a link from my site blows somebody else up if I build it because I've optimized it properly. I know how to use my open graph, which is every time I tweet, there's a picture of Tag Team. So it's not just a tweet. If I retweet somebody else's stuff, they see a dope picture of Tag Team. They're like, ooh, because pictures is always going to work. The text be cool, but the picture with the text, and it's nice and small. It's not big. It's not overbearing. And boom, anytime I text or do any social media, there's a picture. Even Instagram, it works like that. So that's part of Open Graph. You got markup. There's all kind of markup you can do. So now, like today, see, this is the beauty of it. This is how cold I am with it. So today, last week we Geico's like, we want you to be the grand marshals of the Talladega 500, the Geico 500.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So we had to make a video, and they approved a video a couple of days ago, and I'm like, this is a perfect time to test this thing that I'm working on, because most artists have like an events page where they just tell where they're gonna be, but I'm like, no, let's do it a way that's more effective. Each event is a blog post.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, I'm working on that blog post. That goes out as soon as I finish talking to you guys. I got to finish a blog post, do an audition, as an admiral. That's why I'm dressed like this. And now that page is going to rank because I know how to optimize. So
Yeah.
when you build that nuclear power plant, anything you do after that, as long as it's optimized halfway decent,
Mhm.
you garner enough uh, you garner enough goodwill with Google that Google trusts you. And anything you place out there, if it's in the right, you just got to be in the ballpark. They're gonna
Mhm.
want it to go. They're gonna know exactly where you've trained Google to put things where you want it to be. Like think about it. It used to be about keywords, right? And it's not about keywords anymore. It's about suggestions. You can write a whole blog. You can write a whole blog on suggestions. Suggestions are, for those people who don't know, when you type in something and it finishes it for you and gives you like 15 other ones.
Mhm.
That's what everybody's searching for. It's telling you this is what everybody's looking for. And I might not rank, but that's what everybody's looking for. So now you can curate that, and now you in the ballpark. And Google knows
Right.
where to put you. And then you got
There you go.
videos. Then you got social media. Now I can round robin. I can take one tweet and just infiltrate it through all the social networks and round robin them back to each other
Yeah.
through and it just works. And I mean, especially the ones with the little babies that can't even walk and the commercial comes on and they get up and they go to the TV, and then it goes off, they get mad and start crying, and they have to DVR the TV back, right? And this has been such an experience for me because it has taken me into the stratosphere because it has been so innovative for my thought process because there are
Right.
things that I would have never done 5, 10 years ago. Like a corporate friend of mine was like, I wonder how much they're playing it. I was like, I wonder how much they're playing it too. He's like, you
Yeah.
gotta call Geico and get the data. Like, call Geico and get the data? I'm not about to call Geico and get the data. You tripping, right? I'm not
Right.
like, can I have the data? Like, click. Like, no, 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 no. And you can respond viscerally because that is a far-fetched notion, right? But
Right.
I flipped it. I flipped my way of thinking. That is the solution. But
Mhm.
that's far-fetched. Work back from that. Well, Geico's got to get it from somewhere. Why don't you pay for the data? And that's when I went to iSpot TV, who does all the commercials. They have metrics for all of them, right? I reach out to iSpot TV. I reach out to Nielsen, a couple of other companies that do data. A week later, I'm in meetings with iSpot TV, Nielsen, and a couple of other companies that do data, right? And Nielsen's like, we can get you anything you want. It's going to cost this. I was like, whoa, but no, 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 no. But we have subsidiary companies that will cost you that maybe 80% less and it's still the same data. It's like, you want
Hey.
that for me? Because they had never seen an artist come at them talking about, why are you
Mm.
trying to do this? Because I want to know my value proposition. Because if I go
Right.
into the deal and they're saying, well, why should we give you the money? Because, it's just a Geico commercial. You might have got lucky. I'm like, bow, here's why. Because conversions were
That's
this,
great.
the happy index was that. This is how many times everybody rewinded on the DVR. This is how many YouTube video impressions it had. This is
Yeah.
how many views it had. This is how many impressions it had. It has 14 million YouTube views and 2 point something billion impressions.
Wow.
A view is a cassette that you bought back in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
and a impression is how many times you rewound it back to the beginning.
Woo.
So you do the math. On a commercial, I got all this data. Then iSpot TV went even one further. They said, we got the data already. When they came and talked to me, she's like, it's so brilliant what you're doing. We're fascinated by what you're doing. Nobody ever does what you're doing. And I'm like,
Hey.
and they're like, we want to do an interview and we're going to make this whole little commercial. So if somebody asks you for your value add, just give them this link and it'll be a commercial already ready for them. I said, man, whew. And it's all
Wow.
because of hustle. I think different. I don't take no for an answer. I'm not scared of work, right? And you
Right.
have to get control of your emotions, right? You have to, one thing you can't have control, you got to have control of your emotions. And I've acquired over my lifetime, the ability to take any emotion, negative emotion, pain, envy, suffering, despair, anger, fear, put it in my pocket, and use it for later, right?
Right.
And it applies to everything. If this audition I'm about to do, if the admiral needs to be angry, I got something I've been angry about in the last 2 weeks, and I can pull it out of my pocket. Now I don't have to try to act angry. I don't have to be a character. I don't have to be a caricature because I got it in my pocket. Now the character becomes me, and now it's authentic, and now it's real, and now people believe it, and that's what makes good actors and voice actors. You know, with me doing, just if I get stuck on something on SEO, like I was stuck on. I'm trying to start DCGlenn.com. I moved it to Amazon AWS. And then my people were like, why are you moving it there? That's for if you got like a big, giant 1,000-page site. I'm like, okay, well, I try to move it back. But then tag team started slowing down. It was just one little thing. And it took me a week to figure it out. And I could just pay somebody to do it, but I was like, no, it's not going to beat me. Right? I got to figure it out because if I don't know it, then what's the point? Because that's how you build teams. If you know it, now I can teach somebody else to do it. Like all the artwork you see, I'm not sitting there cutting out pictures, doing all that. I got a kid in Bangladesh that does it for me for 50 cents a picture. But it took 3 times for me to teach him how to do it with videos before he got it. Now, you know how much time that saves me, right? That's how you learn. That's how you outsource. So all the things that I had learned through self-help books and all the stuff over the years, everybody's like, DC, you're all over the place. You're all over the place. And I'm like, that's what makes it fun. And then they always like, but you're jack of all trades, master of none. Yep, but you live long enough and you hustle hard enough. A lot of those trades you become masterful at, right?
Right.
And they all serve you. They all serve their purpose. They're the master. They're the ultimate toolbox. They're the toolbox. They're the tool room that everybody walks in who likes tools and goes, whoa, my God. Whoa. Right? You got a tool for everything you need to serve you.
Exactly.
And the main thing is that it can't be, all this hustling stuff can't be, quid pro quo. Right? People are lazy and they want it quick. They want it fast. And I do too. But damn it, I know better. And I just do it anyway. I'm lazy. I don't want to do stuff. I get up every day and I don't want to do half the stuff I do, but I do it anyway. And it's just, you have to be like that. And like, if you plant a seed, you don't sit there and just, come on, seed, grow.
Right.
Grow.
Yep.
Seed, please grow. Man, the seed don't work. I quit. You don't do that, but
You gotta feed it.
you know a lot of people that do it, right? That quick gratification. They're like, man, that didn't work. And it's like, you can't be like that. You got to just do it and keep playing offense, right? LeBron shoots 20 shots, misses 19. Is he going to quit? He's going to shoot. He's going to keep shooting. He's going to shoot 40, 50, 60 more, even if he misses every last one. But then he's going to hit 1. He's going to hit 2. And then he's not going to miss for 3 years, right? He's going to win 3 championships for 3 or 4 years. That's how it works, man. That's why Tom Brady is the way he is, right? You figure out a way. He figured out, I got to make sure my body is in the ultimate condition. If I have a chance, he don't want to get up and do all that what he do, but he does it anyway. And this is the thing I tell all these cats who are just old and bitter. Man, why they mess up hip hop? Man, this is just, they should be paying homage to us. And I'm like, dude, they don't owe you nothing. First of all, you can't be hating on young people for being young, because what you looking crazy. You're basically saying, I wish I had a time machine, and I don't have a time machine, so I'm mad about it, right? Because you want to be young again. It's like, it's not their responsibility to make music the way we made music. Things evolve.
Right.
And they're like, no, but they still should be respecting. I was like, no, okay, let me ask you this. When we were coming up, were you trying to pay homage to Chubby Checker and Fats Domino and James Brown and all them? Were you trying to make music like Isaac Hayes? No, you wasn't. You was making hip hop. because that's what we made, right?
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even know how to find them people would say, hey, thank you. Like, that don't even make no sense.
Mhm.
And it kills me when people think that. And when I give them that analogy, they'd be like, man, you're right. That makes, wow. I've been looking at it wrong. I was like, dude, if anything, you're going through all these mental gymnastics with yourself, and you
Mhm.
have the one thing they will never have: experience, right?
Yeah.
It is.
And experience with all these seeds that I've laid throughout my life. Now I stand before you in a forest of opportunity, and trees just falling on my head left and right. And I can't even handle it. But the only thing I can do is make sure I'm prepared. And that goes back to training. So now I'm like, the pandemic changed me. Pandemic made everybody stop. Say, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm like, I'm hustling. Okay. You hustling, look out the window. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere. But your wheels are spinning because they're in mud.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's time to reinvent. Right? I'm making moves, but it seems slow and methodical because it is slow and methodical. Right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm being shown the way because I go hard. When I started acting in 2017, that was an accident. Once I got my first class, I was in class every day, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a day until the pandemic because I knew I had to catch up because I'm going to be one of those stories where he didn't start acting until he was 50 years old. Now he's in everything. I'm going to be one of those stories, right? And with I am one of those stories now. See, I keep saying I'm going to be. My lady actress friends just get so mad at me. They're like, all I want to do is be a working actor. They're like, will you shut up? You are a working actor. You have done more in 3 years than people that have been doing this for 20 years. I said, yeah, you're right, but I'm not about to buy into that, right? I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not about to buy into that, because I love to be wrong. I love to be wrong because one, it just sequesters your ego and it sequesters your pride. It beats it down and it hurts, but the more it beats it down, the more you don't even think about it. And when people are negative towards you, or when you lose an argument, or if you make a mistake, it's like, so what? Because being wrong is the path to being right, and you'll never be wrong about that again. So bring it on. It's almost like auditions. It's like I used to hate auditions, but then I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna happen because you're not gonna give up. So you might as well do 100 and 200 auditions so you can get to the promised land instead of trying to, cut around corners and only have to do 10. Do as many as you can. It's like the guy who, this guy. This guy is like, he hits on 100 women. It's like, dang, why is he? And he just gets rejected and rejected, but he keeps hitting on women. You're like, how does he even do that? Right? And then, but he gets 5 out of 100. And you're like, why do you do it like that? He's like, because I got 5. Right? He's not seeing how many times he got rejected. He saw that he got 5 women. It's all how you look at things, man. Right? And that's why you want, for me, all these little tactics.
Yeah.
That's all they are, is tactics, man. And I just reverse things. Like with people, I love when people give me excuses because you're just giving me a gift. You give me an excuse, that gives me a chance to make 5 solutions for your excuse to put in my tool shed.
Yeah.
Right? Now I've got 5 more tools because you said this can't be done, but it can be done.
Right.
I'm telling you how it can be done 5 times over in different ways because I am a hustler. And if you're a hustler, you better have 6 or 7 hustles in the hole because when I'm in them clubs and them streets, somebody's going to take your hustle or a bunch of people going to take your hustle and dilute it. And they're looking at you like, ha ha, I got your hustle. And I'm like, ha ha, I've got 6 hustles in the hole. Here's the next one. Catch me if you can. Y'all can have that one. I got what I needed out of that hustle. I play chess, man. I see 6
Yeah.
moves forward. I use all these little analogies, and that's why I love doing podcasts. This is my 4th podcast today. And I do this because, right?
Right.
me talking to you guys like this holds me accountable in a way that I could never do on my own, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I figure things out while I'm talking to you. You know, I tell the same story 120 times, but I'm figuring things out. I'm coming up with things. I'm looking like what I got to do tomorrow, what I got to do here, what I got to do there. I got to get up tomorrow, go to the studio and, go to set for this TV show. Then I got to come back and train for voiceover because I'm about to do a demo. Then I got to go do another big podcast. And then I'm free for a little bit. But I just do it. And my mind is always working, trying to figure things out. And the biggest thing for me, man, is just when I get stuck, I join an organization and I figure it out in just days.
I think that is tremendous that you've been able to do that.
That's how I got shows. When I retired from DJing in 2015, I was like, I want to do shows again. We do like 5-6 shows a year for NBA, halftime shows, stuff like that. And they're very lucrative. But I'm like, I want to be on tour. I want 30, 40 shows a year now. I want to go back on tour. I'm performing because the DJ was the performing elixir, right? That was the replacement for, just a little bit of that, doing voiceover, acting. I love to entertain. But when I stopped DJing, I stopped the thing I loved to do since I was a kid. And once I stopped loving the DJ, was that I couldn't be in those clubs no more, right? There's only so many naked women you can look at, right? There's only so many you can look at, right? And there's only so many clubs you can do, and there's only so much adaptation you can have to young people before it starts destroying your spirit. So I said, well, I'm gonna do shows. So I start calling all the booking agents. They're like, well, you only got one song. We know it's Whoomp, there it is, but you only got one song. So how are you gonna do a show? I'm like, we got a show. Well, nobody knows what else you've done. I'm like, well, I can do a show. And they're like, nah, it's okay. I'm like, okay, thank you. I didn't burn the bridge. I didn't get mad.
All right.
Went and joined the organization, the International Entertainment Buyers Association. In concerts, there's a hierarchy. You have your buyers, and you have your venues, right? Stadiums, arenas, amphitheaters.
Yep.
Then you have your big time promoters, which is Live Nation, Ticketmaster, iHeartRadio, right?
Yep.
Then you have your mom, you have your mom and pop, promoters, and those are the ones I was going to, and it was a brick wall. Then you have your managers, then you have the artist. And I go to their convention maybe a month in, 5,000 people, buyers, right?
Yep.
Me and Chubby Checker, the only black dudes in there, right? I go in there, and I swear I cut out the whole middle because now I'm walking around with a big billboard because I got a big Whoomp, there it is t-shirt on. And everybody's like, okay. And I start just passing out cards. Hi, I'm DC. My pitch is beautiful. DC Glenn, you might know the song Whoomp, there it is. Just checking to see if you would need a clean 90s nostalgia rap show. See, if I just went and said rap show, they would be like, because of insurance and all that. They would give me every excuse why they shouldn't.
Yep.
And I knew that. So I said, let me lead with clean. I live with clean. Their ears turned in the spot. They're like, got them. Now, doing rodeos, casinos, state fairs.
That's right.
Hospital fundraisers, corporate gigs, birthday parties, the whole range of anything you could do for entertainment we're doing. We're nickel and diming the whole way. But what I did effectively is the thing that they said I couldn't do. I found a demand for what I do.
Right.
Because some of those big time promoters only need me to do Whoomp, there it is, to just plug me in and get that energy going and then leave and then go finish on with their show.
Yeah.
They brought me in as a guest in the middle of the show. Boom, get everybody hype up. If they're getting tired, now we're back. Now they can go into the headliner and we're done. Right? I found a way. I flipped it. I didn't take no for an answer. I hustled. And I was like, okay, thank you. I didn't burn bridges. I didn't get mad because I knew what I was going to do.
Yes.
And
you had a game plan
every single time. And even if it doesn't work, it's in the universe. And you can't dictate when it comes back to you. It might come back to you. Something I did 10 years ago might come back to me now, right?
Right.
That's how the universe works. So you just throw, the more you throw out there, you know, better chance it might come back to you. But you don't worry about it because you'll go crazy worrying about it. And
Right.
once we were doing shows, we've been, you know, I mean, we found a one promoter. He was going so hard for us, and I was getting tired. I was like, "You the man. You are a promoter now," because he got us like on tour. We're freestyle tour. Then we got on the I-90s. I love the '90s tour.
Yeah.
And every tour that was '90s, we were on. And now, because the Geico commercial coming out of the pandemic, we had a show 2 weeks ago in Jacksonville. 2,000 people. I was feeling guilty. I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's gonna be blowback tag team to get their famous Geico commercials doing concerts and the COVID." But dude was like, the promoter was like, "No, no, no, no. We giving away COVID shots here. We've been giving away COVID shots at the whole state fair in the concert."
Huh.
Like, that's the way back. That's the way back. And we did that. We did that concert. I was rusty. I haven't performed in 2 years. And I was like, should I do it? And I just played with them and just performed. Scoop, there it is. And it's probably one of the top 5 performances we've ever had. Because it sounded like a stadium in there. They were so loud when Scoop, there it is came on. I could not believe it, man. And so now I just, you know, for me, everything is preparation now. That's why I was saying, like, it's perfect because every paradigm shifted, right? Half the educators in this country went back to school and started teaching the kids again. Half of the educators like, I'm not going back to school with them nasty ass kids, right? But they went and joined all the tutor sites because that's how I started reinventing myself. I went to the site called Wyzant, WYZANT, nothing but tutors. So I might be taking music theory from a Harvard professor or somebody from Juilliard, right, who just retired or just didn't want to go back and teach. I might be learning guy named Gregor, German dude in Germany. He is the engineer of a piece of software called Studio One. It's a DAW. And I train with him every single Tuesday. And the beauty of that is, before the pandemic, if somebody's trying to teach you something, they want to teach you the way they know how to do it, right?
Right.
Like, you want to do it like this, you want to do it like that. And I'm like, no. I'm working. I need you to fold it into how I'm working. So if I'm doing all these voiceover and everything, first of all, we're going to figure out how to get these mics right. Give me some lessons on compression, all the things that I'm doing while I'm working. So while I'm working, I'm learning, and it's fun. And it's necessary, and it has to be done because I got to turn this voiceover audition in. I want it to be pristine, right? So that's what that's for. And then we've been working together for about 4 months because I had another person before then, and she was hard on me. She was like, "I'm gonna teach you this way. You're gonna learn the right way," and it worked, but it was just too much because it was like she couldn't handle me not practicing during the week and then just show up and be like, I ain't had no time to do nothing. And see, Gregor's like, okay, what we gonna do today? Or like an hour before, I was like, okay, I didn't have no time to do what we was gonna do, but we gotta do this. Like with the NASCAR, we had to do a video and the audio was off. And I was like, Gregor, we gotta fix this audio, right? And it was a real time emergency. And he helped me fix the audio and we went through it and I learned 10 more other things that make me better at this job. The week before, we had started making beats. I'm not trying to be an artist, right? But if I take music theory and I come back producing again, I can make jingles for these commercials that I'm in.
Yep.
You drop a hot jingle, that's $300 right off the rip.
Yep.
Bam.
And if everybody likes it, they're like, man, what's that record? What's that song's playing it? DC Tag Team did that. Man, he's still making money. As opposed to, hey, I'm putting a record out. Man, DC, you sit your old butt down. Right? Because there's a shelf life on that as an artist.
Right.
But if the music is popping, nobody cares. Right? And there's no judgment. They just know they like the record. And that's the beauty of it, man. It's like, this Geico commercial worked because everybody loved that song. You know, and back then they knew who we were, but it's been 28 years. And this is one of the first times in history that the whole world that's been listening to this song and loving it get to put the face with it. And then they just see us smiling, partying, having a good time, right?
Yep.
And that just infused the whole world with joy. Because it's like, that's how we used to party, y'all. That's what we used to be, right? And to be able to have that gift and do it twice, and then now I'm doing it with movies, and I'm about to have 3 movies, 2 TV shows come out at the same time. Then I got 3 other projects that I had to sign NDAs for that I can't even talk to you about that I want to talk to you about so bad. All because of my hustle.
Well, the one thing you always talk about, DC, that I love is I've heard you on a few shows where you talk about, you know, I do all this because I want to get in a movie with The Rock. I don't want to be in a whole movie with The Rock. I just need one scene.
Give me 5 lines with The Rock, I'm happy. It's that simple, right? 5 lines with The Rock, everybody's like, whoa. And it's different, right? It's different. Now, if they give me more, that's cool, but I know that springboards me into a whole different lane. And because I train and because I love my craft, I know that I can handle a whole movie with The Rock, right? But I don't need that, right? I'm not trying to be a star, right? I've never wanted to be a star. People, if I went, I'm telling you, people don't even know who I am still. And I got a national Geico now, of course, because we're wearing masks and everything. But even when but I don't carry myself like that, right? They still wouldn't know because I don't carry myself like that. I carry myself like a gentleman, right? It's never any ego. It's never, I'm always willing to help people. I'm always willing to teach people. And that's why I stay blessed. And I work hard. And I don't got time to be a star because I'm working, trying to get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing because I have things I want. I only have a couple things I want in life. And I've had everything else. But the 2 things, and the one thing I really want is I don't want to leave this earth regretting I didn't do something that I should have done. And I want to correct all the opportunities I lost in the past because I have the ability to do it. It's not about that, man, I missed that opportunity. That should have happened. I'm sitting in the office with the head of New Line Cinema in 1994. And he's like, yeah, man, we're down to the final couple, 3 or 4 for the Blade movie. We kind of thinking about when we want to cast you because they were friends with our manager. And I'm like, cool. But I wasn't taking it serious. And I look back on that as a missed opportunity. I had an opportunity to make a song for the 96 Olympics because they were here in Atlanta. And I missed that opportunity and botched that opportunity, right? I taught Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. I'm in the bowels of Disney with the voices of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, husband and wife team, teaching them how to rap. And they're telling me about voiceover. That's how I got started with voiceover. But I didn't pull the trigger for another 15 years. But I went and corrected it, right? I corrected voiceover. I'm an actor now. And everything that I did not do, I didn't go to school for audio engineering, I'm doing now. I will not leave this earth regretting that I didn't do something. And that's what gives me life, man. And then just talking to people and just sharing my wisdom and my knowledge and my hustle and just trying to tell people the things I wish somebody had told me when I was a stupid kid, right? When I was a young man, just thinking I was the greatest in the world. I've just tried to talk to people that way and say, hey, man, just watch out for this, watch out for that. I try to help people. But when you're young, you don't care. There's nothing you can say to people. There's nothing you can say to anybody when they're young. They're trying to, they don't even care. So
they want to be famous yesterday.
Yeah, they want to be famous yesterday. But hey, man, I'd love to talk to you all night, but I got to go do this audition.
But before we let you go, Seth, do you have a couple questions for him before we let him go? If he's still with us, we might have lost him.
No, it's been beautiful listening to the story.
Do you have any questions for DC? But before we let him go,
No. I think he's filled us in quite a bit.
Yeah, I can talk SEO. SEO is a whole nother thing because there's just so many parts to it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's what people don't realize. It's like you have to learn every single one of them parts. Because I had a t-shirt company, but I made the site too big. There's no way I can run a 700-page t-shirt site by myself. I got greedy, right? Should have just started with one t-shirt.
Well, I work with Dante J. Davis. Did some stuff with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we did a book cover with Queen Latifah. This industry, I mean, after COVID, it's going to be interesting to see how much digital, how the whole marketing spectrum changes.
It is already changed. Check it out. I got a good one for you. Acting, right?
Right.
I'm about to walk in my living room. I got a rig set up, and I'm about to do an audition on a platform called We Audition. And We Audition on the other side is full of readers. And for the first 2 years of my act, pretty all the whole time, I struggled with finding readers because sometimes, you go, I live by myself, so I don't have people in the household that can read for me. And if I did, they wouldn't want to do it anyway. And now I got to go hire somebody across town for them to read, go to their studio. And then I'm nervous. Then they're charging me $70 for a half hour. And then we're not getting it. I'm just reciting lines. Right? Then I do a terrible audition. And then I don't waste 3 hours out of my day and I don't get the audition. Right?
Right.
And We Audition is filled with all the people who got shut down. So now it's like I'm in the gym. Working. I do auditions with Juilliard trained actresses from New York, Broadway actresses from soap operas in LA, classically trained actors and actors that are overseas because they're all shut down. They make money by reading for people who are in places that are auditioning. And now we're a community and we help each other. I've got 15 people I can go to. I can do 6 auditions in a day because of this platform. Wow. And before that wasn't even possible. And it's fun. I look forward to it because we're working out. Two heads are better than one. We're collaborating. We're figuring it out. I tell them, I say, be hard on me if you see me doing these little quirks, these little things, all the things that I do. I know I need to stop me right in my tracks, and I won't do it no more. And that was over with the first week. Now, it's not even an issue. Now, I'm about to go over here and do this audition. I'm about to go over here and do 10 pages in a half hour because I got somebody that has my back that can watch me and say, hey, let's try it this way. Let's do it this way. What choice did you make? I made this choice. But then at the same time, I'm teaching them because they have to break down the script like I have to break down the script.
Yes.
Right? On the fly. So it's like both worlds work. Now, I booked. It's to the point where now there's a process when it comes to casting direct. That's why headshots are important. They look at a bunch of headshots first. Then they say, we're going to keep 100. They might look at 3,000 headshots. They keep 100. They let 100 audition. Then they whittle that down. Then they have a callback for about maybe 5. Then they pick their final 2 or 3, and then they pick one, right? Then they send them to the producers. Or the final 3, they send them to the producers. I don't even have to go through that process anymore. I say 50% of the time now, casting is just like, give these 6 to DC. Let me see what he does for them, because the casting directors know who I am now. Not because of Geico, but because of my hustle. Like, I tell all these actors, I'm like, look, I tell everybody this. I said, when I first started, I listened, and agents hate when when actors call and be like, why am I not in this? And why am I not doing this? And why am I not doing that? Right? And they hate that. And I said, I ain't going to do that. So when I do, and I came up with this little tactic. I said, it's not enough that they you think you're working hard. You have to let them see you hustle. You have to stealthily put yourself in front of them and let them see you hustle. And how I do that, I'll call up my agent, and I don't do it because I'm trying to get something. I just do it as general practice. When I call my agent, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I just want to thank you for doing a great job. I was like, I'm in I just got a question for you. I'm in this class, this class, this class. I'm doing this intensive. And I just want to know if I'm missing anything. You got any advice for me? I'm like, you in every class in the city. He's like, yeah, but is there anything else? DC, you're doing more than what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But once again, I appreciate everything you're doing for me. And thank you. You have a good day. Now, what did I just do?
Yeah.
What did I just do in the form of a question? I said, I took a different tack. I said, I'm the bomb because I'm doing this and this and this and this and this. So why am I not in this? I didn't do that. I said, I'm doing this. I'm putting in this work, and I want you to know that. But I'm not telling you that. I'm asking you, is there more? Am I missing something? And you're already like, what are you talking about? You're already doing more. And then you do that enough times, then they work harder for you. You're like, that DC? Psh, man. And they remember you, right? My acting told me it's LA. You get invited to a party, what you gonna bring? You gonna bring what? Cheese and crackers, bottle of wine, casserole. Not me. I'm bringing an ice sculpture, a bounce gym for the kids, 2 turntables with my records, barbecue with some steaks and ribs, and a karaoke machine and 4 card tables so everybody can play cards, and you will remember I was there.
Yeah.
That's the approach I take to everything in life. My auditions, my voiceovers, everything I go, that's the approach I take to life. And you have to let them see you hustle. You have to let them know that they can't do without you. You're invaluable to them, right? And when that happens, people, you know, the universe opens up to you and opportunities come your way, and you're ready because you gotta practice what you preach, right? And like the first TV show I was only supposed to be on a TV show for 1 episode, but they gave me new lines, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn 2 whole pages in an hour, but I did it, right? And we rehearsed, and everybody was struggling because they didn't know their lines. And then it was like, all right, we're going to take a break. We're going to take an hour for dinner. And everybody's like, come on, DC, we're going to dinner. I was like, I'm good. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to run my lines. I'm going to learn my lines.
There you go.
I let them see me hustle. Yeah. I didn't go eat so I could let them see me sitting there not eat and starve because I wanted to get them lines down so I could do good for my director. And they saw that from the AD all the way down to the craft service. People saw me hustle. And now I'm recurring. I got 2 more episodes. And I probably in a series regular on that. And that's what you want. You want to be a working actor. And if they trust you, they can't do without you because everybody else trying to be a star.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and it makes it a little bit harder.
I'll tell you, DC, at some point you've got you could be a motivational speaker. That could be next.
Man, I'm getting pitched by that. I already had 2 offers, but that's really not my cup of tea, right? I don't have to. I haven't done it because we still in COVID for one, and I got my shots and everything. I'm real strategic about what I do because I can't be spread thin, right?
Yeah. Because
preparation is everything. I'm waiting for the big licks. I want to be in Star Wars. I want to be in The Mandalorian. You know, every interview I was like, Dave Leone and Jon Favreau, you need to holler at me. I'm your man. And I guarantee you, and I just throw it out there now. Nothing will probably happen, but a scenario could happen where one of their assistants are like, I heard DC, the guy in the Geico commercial on a podcast talking about he does all the stuff that you want to do. And he's like, Geico, oh, my kids love that. Set up a meeting with his agent. And now, if we have a meeting, he's like, so you say you can do this, huh? I'm like, yes, I can, sir. He's like, well, what you got that I can listen to? And if I'm like, I had this old demo, but I don't have. No. This time is for preparation.
That's right.
That's why I'm doing 6 demos. Because if the opportunity comes my way, I'll be like, bam! Just like my value proposition. He's like, whoa, he's ready. Now I trust him. And now the world is mine. Right? It's like, you just have to think like that. But if it happens, it don't. If it does, it do. And RRA done beat the odds so many times. I mean, having a hit record in the 90s, come on, man. That was beating the odds right there. And having Whoomp. Right. And then it continuing on and then coming back and still being able to perform it and it being evergreen, and then a Geico commercial. And then since the Geico commercial, I've had 10 opportunities to do commercials. But I'm not doing, I'm not doing little bitty commercials for, regional commercials for, Troop and Loop and doo-doo and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come to me with the wildest things. You're going to get a lot of people who you're just happy that you made them happy. And they think that, it costs $22 for you to do a commercial. It don't. So you kind of got to break it to them nicely and gently, right? But that is what, I know that every couple years now, from here on out, somebody's going to come up with a brilliant idea, and they're going to be like, we should get tag team because it's been long enough since the Geico commercial. Let's put tag team in this commercial. And then I'm going to put in the work. It's going to be funny. It's going to be party. It's going to bring joy to people, and we're going to get paid. So I like I said, if you're sitting around because of the pandemic waiting for it to get the way it used to be, you'll be sitting around waiting for it to get back the way it used to be.
Yep.
People like us are standing in a new frontier looking at the West talking about, I can have all this. This is all mine. Because nobody is here. Nobody's even thinking about moving forward. Everybody's trying to go back to where they were. And it is wide open. You can build your own lane custom to you. You can build another lane custom to you and another lane. Now you got a highway. Take you anywhere you want to go. That's just how I see it. And it makes it clear. It makes my mission more clear. Like, everything is new.
Yep.
They call me DC, the brain supreme, for a reason.
Yes, they do. Well, DC, you have been a joy, my friend. I have enjoyed this. We will definitely have to do this again. And Seth, thanks for joining us as well. And
absolutely. Hey, DC. Queen Latifah's got a new TV series. Maybe. Man, maybe you should look into that, man.
And it's amazing because we all came up at the same time.
Yeah.
And her manager, we talked about television. That's another one of them opportunities that just didn't happen, right? I wasn't thinking about it then. I wasn't thinking about nothing like that, right? And I was there. I was there at every turn, right? I was there and could have just thought a little differently. But, my Aunt Judy always said, Lavelle, sometimes people aren't ready, right? Mm-hmm. And it might take them 20, 30 years to get ready, but when they're ready, it's like it never even happened, right? Every time I accomplish something, it's like I never even went through anything to get to it. It just happened. But when you're going through it, you're crying and your knees are scraped up and you're just pissed off at everything, and you have to, keep your emotions in check and all that. But now you done made it, you can laugh at it, right? And all the people that have done you wrong,
right,
they still there because you're not going to get rid of nobody, because the people that hate on you the most are the people that love you the most, right?
Yep.
But you get to look them in the eye. You get to look them in the eye and they get to look you in the eye. And that's enough, right?
Absolutely.
That's enough. You don't have to rub it in. I never rub it in.
Negative.
It don't make no sense to. You don't have to. Already in the air.
We're all growing. We're all growing.
It's already in the bank account. Let me stop, man. I gotta get out of here, man.
Well, hey, I appreciate it. We'll definitely do this again. Good luck with everything, and thanks for chatting with me and Seth today.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, DC. Appreciate it, brother.
Don't have too much fun.
There he goes. It is DC, the brain supreme from Tag Team, and it is the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast, coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio today. Thank you for joining us, and we are going to go back to the replay on the stream.